Well, hi, everybody. This is Dear Mama Sal, and we are live on a Friday lunchtime, which means that it's time for us to talk about coping with feelings. And the feelings that I had this week, wow, were they frightened. And so, what I want to talk about in our broadcast today is about why it's so important to listen to your inner child. My inner child had a meltdown this week, and I realized that it was for good reason, and that's what we're going to be talking about. Don't discount it. Hi there, Charlotte. Good to see you. Jodie's going to be a tad late. For those of you who don't know, Jodie is our admin and Jeannie is there. Hi, Jeannie. If you could just play admin for until Jodie gets here. She's going to be a little late. That would be wonderful. Thank you. Jeannie's our backup. She does a great job. So, yeah, so really an incredibly difficult week for me, which you're going to hear about. And I hope that you all had a good week. And if you didn't, that's also all right. You know, the weeks come and go. As I've said, the whole thing about Dear Mama Sal is because it's not just me, it's all of us, right? And some weeks you guys have the issues and some weeks I have them. And that's how we go through life all the time. I don't know about you, but if you care to, all the time, you just keep learning and learning and learning more and more things. John Bradshaw said that the process of reclaiming your wounded inner child is the forgiveness process. Forgiveness allows us to give as before. It heals the past and frees our energies for the present. And you're going to hear exactly how that worked for me. Interesting, Charlotte is busy saying, and she's, by the way, on the east coast of Canada. I'm obviously on the west coast, but not obviously. Sorry, if you don't know that, you don't know that. She's saying it's been unusually cold. Charlotte, I hate to tell you this. I'm looking at crocuses that have come up and the sun is out. Really interesting. Yeah, Charlotte saying, I agree. Forgiveness frees. Yes, absolutely. So before we get on to that, just wanted to give our thoughts and prayers. Jodie will be here a little bit later, but I just wanted to give thoughts and prayers for her. She had a terrible loss today. And not today, this week, she lost her little canary, Peep. Um, just so sad. And it hit her really hard, and Lionel as well. And so I thank those of you who knew about it. Thank you for supporting her. And thank you for understanding that when you're grieving, you don't always have the ability to reply to people. And I think that's, I actually made sure that I kept pretty quiet, let her know all the time, every day that I was there for her, but didn't expect her to be around too much because I know that grieving process, as unfortunately do most of us. So we'll make sure we give her some extra hugs today. Yes, it's true, isn't it, Charlotte? Charlotte's saying her pal Peep. Um, and she says I get losing a friend of any kind. Yeah, hi there, Sandy. Good to see you as well. So Wednesday was Valentine's Day, obviously, and the start of the year of the rabbit. And that's in the Chinese New Year. And so if any of you are in the year of the rabbit, happy year to you. So I wanted to thank Jeannie. Jeannie, I wanted to let you know that I opened up the tin of brown bread that you so kindly had sent some time ago, and I cut it up into slices, because that's how you meant to serve it. And I've frozen quite most of it. But what I do is every few days I pull out a couple of slices and I put a little bit of cream cheese frosting on top. And I want to tell you. Oh, Jenny's saying she thought it was the year of the dragon. Really? Well, I'm certain that you can check that. Maybe I'm totally wrong. I thought it was the rabbit this year. Yeah. Yes, Charlotte's saying, aha, treats for the long haul side. Yes, I've learned that, if I don't put it in the freezer, I'll eat it all. So what I do is I just put it into what I call sizes, and then I can do it. Yep. Divide and conquer. Very good. Yeah, it's part of my ration control. By the way, my team didn't win the Super Bowl. But wasn't it an incredible, if you happen to watch it, it was an incredible Super Bowl, probably one, just amazing that the lead kept changing and there were always a few little things between it. Oh, it is the year of the dragon. There you go. Thanks, Jeannie, for bringing that up. I don't know why I thought it was the rabbit, but hey, good stuff. Anyway, so I wanted to say about the Super Bowl. Oh, last year was the year of the rabbit. That's why I got confused. Okay, thanks, Judy. See, that's why I need admins. They keep me on track. Anyway, but so sad that there was this tragedy afterwards, when the winning team, Kansas City, actually went back and there was that shooting. I mean, it's just so sad, isn't it, that people have to spoil something really, really momentously wonderful for them, not for me. And then they go, have a shooting. I mean, really, really sad. And in the news, I don't know if you guys, anybody has seen that, but the Russian opposition leader Navalny, he died today, which quite honestly I don't think was a big surprise to anybody that he would die. It was not a case of if, it was a case of when, and I don't mean that because we all die when. But it was just like we knew that Putin needed to get rid of him before the elections, which start, I believe, in March. So yeah, guess what? He's dead, and so sad. Such a brave, courageous man, but he made his point. And just listening to his wife today, so sad, so sad. But if any of you watched the documentary on him, you saw his wife say goodbye to him, and probably knowing she'd never see him again, and it was so sad. But anyway, such is life. All right, inner child. We're going to do some inner child stuff, but I wanted to just, I found this and I thought it was so good. Things that your inner child might need to hear. Okay. It's not your fault when other people are in a bad mood. It's okay to feel. You are worthy of everything good. You're a good person and I love you. You are worth protecting. You are beautiful and loved. And whatever happens is not your fault. So the reason I wanted to do that, talk to that, is it's okay to feel whatever the feeling, right? There are no bad feelings. And what do we know? Feelings are about us. They're our responsibility, not somebody else. So feelings are ours. We cannot change things that are happening, but we can control the feelings. And so if ever you feel, have any of you had that meltdown, the inner child meltdown, I call it, where you feel terrified like a 5-year-old? I just want to know if any of you have ever felt it, where you're scared to make a decision because you're not sure whether you can make one, where everything seems to be coming at you and you need somebody to take it over because you just don't think you can handle it. I'm pretty sure we've all been there. And it came upon me this week, and it was really interesting. It started last week, obviously, and I was talking to you about, all this that needs to happen in terms of my dental work. And for those of you who don't know, I had been told that I needed to have sorry, I needed to have 4 extractions and also 2 fillings. And somehow or other, my inner child was having a moment about this. It really didn't like what was going on. And, then I got to have partial dentures put in. So I realized that by Friday, I was talking about it to all of you. And then by Saturday, when Yvonne came to visit, I really was so glad she was there because I needed to process all of this. And one of the things I really recommend is if you're having this sort of meltdown, I think what happens is that we don't want to be a wuss. Do any of you relate to that? You don't want to be pathetic. You don't want to feel like you're stupid. You don't want to feel any of those things. Yet, if there is an overload going on, the chances are you are feeling those things. And then you don't want to expose yourself because that makes you very vulnerable. So I was so grateful I had Yvonne because Yvonne knows me better than anybody. And I said, I need to, I need to get out what I'm feeling about this dental work. And I said, and it's going to not be very pretty. So, just take a deep breath because you're not going to want to hear this because I'm going to sound pretty pathetic and you're not used to that. But, just know I need to get it out. Because if I keep it in, I will, it'll affect my mental health. So therefore I need to get it out. And it was so interesting because as I was spewing all this, what I, and what I was feeling, Yvonne wanted to interrupt and fix some of it. And I said, stop, I haven't finished spewing. I've got to get it all out and then we can process it if you want to. But it was just like, no, don't stop me. The whole thing I need to do here is get it out of my mind. And so I want to make sure that you all understand how important that is. And then what I found was after I got all that out, I said, now then, knowing that I'm not stupid, knowing that I'm not a wuss, knowing that I'm not what is my inner child trying to tell me? Does that make any sense? There was a big reason why my mind was going into overdrive, and the reason was in all that my inner child was screaming about. She was having a tantrum. And so then I did what we all know to do, which is to smile, breathe. And then I said to Yvonne, okay, now let's go slowly. Let's go through everything. What we know is that this sort of tantrum happens when my inner child has anger over some unmet needs. Ever been there? Or when she feels abandoned or rejected, or she's feeling insecure and vulnerable in some way, or she's feeling some level of guilt or shame. Some of you probably know that one pretty well. And once we know that that's what creates the tantrum, then, you can work through it. So I went through it and I went, okay, fine. Did I have any anger going on? What was I angry about? You see, I felt angry that I needed to have so much done that I didn't realize needed to be done. And I suddenly realized that this date of this, was coming up for this Tuesday when I was going to have this work done. And I didn't think I was ready for it. I didn't think I had enough information to start pulling teeth out and doing stuff. But as you will hear, there was also some guilt attached to it as well. So then, did I feel any abandonment? No, I didn't feel any abandonment. That wasn't my issue at all. So we could move past that pretty quickly. My next question was, did I feel insecure or vulnerable? Yep. I definitely felt that. I felt insecure about my ability to handle the pain and trauma of having 4 major teeth taken out, uh, and my ego issues around that. And then I realized I wasn't being a wuss about that. What I did was I ended up getting more information from my dentist, who luckily replied to me in time for me to make decisions. And when he actually explained to me what these 4 teeth that have to come out were like, um, it is those 4 teeth of teeth with very long roots. And he said in his description to me, Sal, there may be need for oral surgery um, on some of those teeth that are coming out. And then I went, bingo. That is what my inner child is trying to warn me about. All right, that this is big stuff. It's not just a quick extraction, hello, this tooth is falling out, let's just pull it out. No, this is embedded teeth that may need to be dug out, apparently, of my jaw for some reason. Yeah, Jeannie's saying, thank you for that support, Jeannie. She's saying, yes, valuable because your inner smile. Because of your smile. And you would not have that for a while. Actually, Jeannie, did I tell you that I'd made a plan around that? And that was another part of this whole process. Anyway, so just to go back, when I found asked some more questions of my dentist, I also found out he doesn't do the sedation that we were talking about last week. But as soon as I heard him say, it's probably not a bad idea, Sal, because, you probably, there are probably going to be a couple of teeth that are going to need literally prying out of your gum, but your jawline or something. I don't know how he worded it, but it's not fun. That's for sure. So then I asked my dentist, well, then, would you recommend I have oral surgery for all 4? In other words, instead of having all the trauma of trying to get these teeth out, and I don't freeze well, that I actually have oral surgery and have all 4 teeth pulled out at the same time. And he said, I would definitely recommend that. I said, okay. So the good news is, I think it's good, I hope it's good, that on Tuesday, instead of having the extractions, on Tuesday they're going to repair this tooth. This is the one that has to come out. The next one needs repairing. So that one's going to be repaired. And another one, I'm not sure where the other one is, also on the top somewhere. And then I will get the referral to the oral surgeon at the same time. So that a lot more has to happen. Jeannie very kindly says, it's valuable because you love your smile. Yeah, I do. And you would not have that for a while. Yes and no. The smile I intend to keep. I have made a decision. My denturist said to me that she can make me a tooth that when this comes out, this one that's broken, when this comes out, she can give me a tooth to pop in there for the time, a temporary tooth until I get the partial dentures, so that I hopefully will still be able to broadcast, which is important to me. Yeah, Jeannie says, she loves my smile. Well, when I talked to Yvonne about it, that was one of the things I came up with. I said, if you ask people who know me, if you had to what people say about me is they love my smile, my sense of humor, and funny enough, a lot of people say my hair. Go figure. So, to me, That is really important. So, Jeannie, that makes sense to you then that I made a decision I would spend the extra money and get a false tooth that I could slip in. How that sticks in there, I'm not quite sure yet. But I can use so that I can carry on my life and not have to isolate. I think if and the isolation would have to happen for 2 months, the best part of 2 months, maybe a little bit more. So, that's a lot of time. So here we go. The next thing was, did I feel any guilt or shame? And the answer was yes. I felt some level of guilt because I was taking a step back. Okay, Jeannie's saying 2 months seems too long. Okay, Jeannie, let me try and explain what they've told me and see if it makes more sense to you. When they pull these teeth, my gums are going to, my body is going to try and fix all those holes, all right? So there's going to be a lot of swelling and stuff going on where especially if they've had to do oral surgery and stuff. There's going to be a lot of, my face is going to blow up like a balloon, I'm pretty sure. But what they need is that all to die down and, just quieten down and get back to normal before they take the final impression for my partial dentures. Does that make sense? What they say is it normally will take about 6 weeks. Okay? And the thing is that they will probably check in on me after a month to see how it's going. However, now, Jeannie, look at why it takes so long. We're talking 6 weeks just to heal. Then I need to go in and they'll do the final impressions. Make sense? Then they will send those final impressions away to the east, funny enough, to have the partial dentures made. That will take another 10 days. So now we're getting close to 2 months. And this is if there aren't any delays. Then they will have me come in and they will fit the partial dentures and they may need to do adjustments and stuff like that. Hope not, but it's possible. So then I've got to get used to wearing the things and being able to talk with them in my mouth, right? So to me, this is like, it's a big learning experience that you're all going to have to go through with me. But can you see that I had some guilt about I was going to change the plan? The plan was that I was going to have all 4 teeth taken out on Tuesday. And, as soon as I said, nope, I don't want that to happen. But can we use that time to do the restoration on the teeth that need fillings? Yep. Sorry. Okay, that's good. I felt better. I felt better all around. Now, I didn't feel better about the possible cost of all of this. But I then said to myself, this is all about inner child. If I am known for my smile, and if I am somebody who broadcasts, doing this in a way that is less traumatic, less painful, less everything is really important to me. And therefore, in a way, it was almost worse than hearing I needed a mastectomy. I don't know why that is. But, like the mastectomy was right. They're going to put me under, gone, yeah, moving on. Recovering, obviously. I knew that was going to be a bit painful. But, it was just like, I'd had big operations before, and I know a little bit about that. So I wasn't too traumatized about that. But when you're talking about my teeth, and now remember, this is coming at the same time as my eyes are failing. Not a good week. Right. So, I had a lot more information, and that information made the investment a good idea. So what I felt was it was an investment in my mental health. And whether it was expensive or not was not the issue. The issue was get it done. so that you don't have to be terrified. Get it done in a way where you don't have to be traumatized to the degree. Mind you, just getting fillings is traumatizing for me, but we'll sort that one out on Tuesday. So the other thing was, in the list of things about checking in with your inner child, was there any anxiety? Now, I've always said, this is just my saying, if I dwell on the past, I will be depressed. And if I dwell on the future too much, I will be anxious, right? So it's very important to understand that. Because when you start talking through your inner child issue, I felt better about the plan that I'd made. And then I wondered, there was some, guilt about changing the appointments and everything, because I had to delay the denturist. But it's okay. This is something I can do. And then what I realized was that I thanked my inner child, all right, for giving me the heads up that I hadn't got all the answers yet. And can you see that by processing it all through, I realized that the plan wasn't right. I realized there was a better way to do this. I realized that I could do this with less stress. So I thanked my inner child for having a tantrum and for making me aware that things were not right and that she didn't need to feel guilty, because changing the appointments around and changing dates and everything was a good idea. And everybody ended up thinking it was a good idea, not just me. So once I'd done all of that work, I also kept very quiet for 24 hours. Kept low to the ground, you know what I mean? And the reason for that is that once you've done all that processing, then your mind will feed you back other things that you haven't thought about yet. And one of the things that will come up at that time, if you're normal, and I consider myself to be pretty normal, is the what if monster will attack you. Do any of you know the what if monster? So here it went, right? What if, for example, my front tooth breaks before I get to the oral surgeon? Well, the way that you handle the what if monster is that you ask it, what if it doesn't? Okay? If you hear the what if in your head, yeah, but what if that tooth breaks? That should be coming out this week. What if it breaks before you get a chance to go to the oral surgeon? Yeah, I mean, literally severs or does something funny. Yeah, but what if it doesn't? Right? Very important that you are able to say that. And then you go, okay, but what if it does? And the what if it does, what I'm thinking about here is, what is the plan around it, right? The what if monster, if you deal with it properly, actually is a good risk management tool. So I went, well, I would have to have an emergency appointment. Doesn't make me a bad person. It just is, it would have to be an emergency appointment. And I'd probably be in a lot of pain. Lacerate my tongue a bit, whatever. It's just like, yeah, that's it. And what if I had to wait months to get an appointment with a dental surgeon? Well, what if I don't? Right? And I'll find out more next week, hopefully. And all these what if questions came up. What if, what if, what if? And I just handled them as they came up and went, okay, good question. Let's see how we, me and my inner child, are going to deal with it. And so, because I was able to say, what if it doesn't, to each of these, I could quieten my inner child's, sort of residual panic about, yeah, but what if, and I'm going, it's okay, you don't have to be too scared, because 90% of what we worry about doesn't happen. So what if it doesn't happen? Right? I thought this tooth would be broken before Christmas, and it hasn't. So maybe it will stay stronger. May not. I really could see on each of these questions, the what if questions, if I didn't panic about them and just sort of balance them, I could find answers that helped everything settle down. I ended up with a risk management plan that I understood, and I knew that there was a 50% chance that either could happen, and I was now ready for both. Wonder if that makes sense to any of you. So the big result of this, in my mind, was I was grateful, all right, for that anger that I could feel. I was grateful for that insecurity that I felt. I was grateful for the vulnerability that I felt. I was grateful for the guilt and shame that I felt, and just a little anxiety on the what ifs. I was grateful for it all because it helped me calm down. When I sorted through it all, did the processing of it all, I ended up feeling so much better. And I was able to relax and go, okay, now I've got a plan that I think works. Now, I will find out in the next week, just how expensive this is going to be. And that will probably freak me out. But does it make sense to you all that that's money? I luckily have some money put away. Not money I want to spend, by the way, because I'm retired and that's money I have to live on. But when I thought about it, I went, that's really important to me. Being able to continue to broadcast, to be able to have this done under sedation, this is important stuff to me. And I deserve it. And I went, so the question is, what are you going to give up? I don't think I mentioned the blankie here, did I? I'm so sorry. This is the blankie that Karen sent me. Isn't it cute? A little knee blankie. So very thoughtful. Sorry, Karen, I meant to mention that at the top. Anyway, can you now see that there is a good reason why my inner child was freaking out? And that is the point that I want you to understand. Embrace your inner child. Don't, I was feeling so vulnerable and so stupid and so terrified for about for a little while. And, maybe it was an hour or so. And then as I was able to process it all through, I knew within 24 hours that everything was now back on a different track. Luckily, everybody I knew that I'd done everything I could, right, to get a better plan in place. So what I want you to do is to understand freaking out occasionally is a really good thing for your mind. It makes a lot of sense. And that's not something that you hear very often. And that is just my view, obviously. But I know in my heart of hearts that I am not a wuss. I know in my heart of hearts I am not stupid. I know in my heart of hearts that, I can tolerate a lot of things. So when my mind starts being that terrified of stuff, I need to listen and help it calm down. Otherwise, it will seriously affect my mental health. And so that's what I decided. This is not a waste of money. This is an investment in my mental health. End of story. Okay. Now, how am I going to end up making up that amount of money? I will have to budget much more carefully. And also, I need to find more money. And one of the ways that I found more money was I wonder how much American money I have got in the house because of the trips, that I used to take down to Benji and Judy and so forth. And I used to keep all my American money in a separate wallet. And I went and found the wallet and I counted it out. I've got nearly $1,000 in American money here. That will help. I was really amazed that both my sister and my brother decided to send me a little bit of money to help me. Very gracious of them. Not unexpected. I didn't ask for it, but they both decided between them that they were going to do it. And so, amazing. And I thank them very much for helping me in that way. And there we have it. Lots of drama. But on the upside, I now feel much more at peace. Do any of you have any questions? Either here now or on the replay, feel free to ask me the questions on the comments below. So that is what I wanted to share with you. All right? Listen to your inner child. They may come, it might come up with solutions that you didn't realize you needed. So that's the broadcast for today. And I look forward to seeing you all on Sunday. And hopefully, again, we'll be one step farther along the process. It's been a really weird week. This is DearMamaSal saying thank you so much for being here. And thank you for understanding that we all are on a journey, each of us in our own journey. And as we go along, we will all keep learning because we will continue to share with one another, and not only the issues, but also the solutions. And to my mind, that is where the power is. Knowledge is power. This is DearMamaSal saying thank you for being here, and bye-bye for now. Thanks, Jeannie.